All right, Junior Adams. How you doing, buddy? What's this offseason been like for you?
All is good. Now the off season, obviously, um, with all we're going through right now, considering it's been good. I mean, it's out of every, I really truly believe that, and you get to spend a lot more time with your loved ones, and and then we're finding new innovative ways to teach and coach with our players through the Zoom and the virtual world. But no, it's been good. I mean, we're dealing with um, what we're all dealing with right now.
Sure, absolutely. What are those Zoom meetings like with the wide receiver group? Who's the loudest guy in the room? Is there a funny guy? You know?
Okay, so in that meeting room right now, especially with the Last Dance, the whole Michael Jordan thing that's going on right now, like the
Yeah.
series. All right, so right now it's Puka. He always got something to say about the whole Michael Jordan, LeBron James comparison.
Was he even born when Michael Jordan was playing?
No, he probably wasn't even born. I didn't even ask him. I'm like, dude, why are we even having this conversation? And it's usually at the end of the meeting. So
Sure.
usually what I do, he'll just unmute his mic and he'll be like, hey guys, the whole Jordan, LeBron, and I'll hit end meeting, and then everyone just cut off. So I just hang up on him. And then Ty Jones has always got something funny to say. That group is fun. We've grown close over the last year and a half, and we have a lot of fun. We joke around. The group text is entertaining. I call them, they're right now they're TikTok kids, right? All they do is sit on TikTok and
Oh
make
yeah.
dances and do these skits. But we're having a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, you're losing some guys, some seniors this last year that
hmm
have had some production over the years. Aaron Fuller, Bachelia, Quentin Pounds, moving on. Who's going to take this next step and kind of take that leadership role? You got some guys coming back. You just mentioned there, Ty Jones, kind of been a question mark, redshirted last year. Bynum came on strong. Who's got to take this next step this year? And talk about your group with regards to the field.
I think with that room, those there's a lot of guys in that room that have made plays for us last year. Even though you had Dre and QP and Aaron and Chico, and those guys are gone, but those guys were able to learn from those four seniors. But Marcus Spikers made some big plays for us on third down. Bynum, like you said, has came along late. You got Puka, who was starting to heat up a little bit last year before the injury. You got Jordan Chin, who's made some big time explosive plays for us last year. So we got some good experience coming back in that room. And I think these guys are just hungry, and they were, hungry to get into the off-season program, like in January when we all got back from, the holiday, and they worked their butts off this off-season when they were on campus. And, we're just excited. I expect, Puka to keep rolling. I expect Ty Jones, right, who
Yeah.
redshirted, like you said, last year, who, I think that, he was able to, redshirt, take a step back, be on scout team, offense, giving the defense a good look, being on scout team, special teams, giving a good look on, on the punt return unit coming off the edge. So, I'm excited. I'm just excited for all these guys. It's gonna, how it is, man. It's football. It's competition, right? So I'm excited to sit back and see this competition.
Yeah. What's the biggest difference with John Donovan's new offense being implemented here? How's
hmm
that going to look for the wide receivers with the new offense?
I tell the guys, if you want to throw the ball, we got to play good football. We got to. It's the same. It's football. It's 11-on-11 football. I think Donovan's going to bring more of that NFL style. Um, we're gonna be physical, and I think in any system that you run, it starts up front and running the football and having a vertical run game. That allows you to be able to throw vertically down the field. And at the wide receiver position, we got to do a good job of blocking guys on the perimeter, just like you do in week in and week out. And then we got to do a good job of tossing the football around the yard and making explosive plays. But no, I like JD. JD's been awesome. It's been cool to sit back and see him install his system. And we're gonna have a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
Receiver's kind of one of those positions. kind of like a quarterback or an offensive line. It
Right.
takes some time for a high school kid to just come right in and play a lot of times as a true
Uh-huh.
freshman. What do you think it is that biggest adjustment for high school kids playing Pac-12 Division I football at the wide receiver position?
I just think that's a really good question. Obviously, the playbook's bigger. That's the first thing, right? I think, the playbook's bigger. And you got to learn how to learn, the playbook, the system, the scheme, the verbiage is different. But I think the most important part is just being able to, when you get here, to get acclimated, get your feet underneath you. And it's just like anything else you do, right? You need reps at the scheme or playing the position. Um,
A lot of
freshman,
guys in the room, in the wide receiver room. Typically you
uh,
sign 3 guys a class. I mean, sometimes you got 14 guys in that room.
I have 10 right now here, and then you add the 3 freshmen, so I should have 13.
Yeah, which is a big
So
number in competition. And like you said, it's kind of hard to get reps and
you
whatnot.
know, you got to take advantage of your reps.
Yeah.
You take advantage of your reps, and it's going to bring the best out of everyone.
Well,
But
that
I'm
being
excited.
said, I was going to say this trio of freshmen that you have coming in, and no
Oh
one's
yeah,
done a better job recruiting uh, than you once you hit the floor running when you signed on here, going into year 2 now. But that class you got coming in, Jalen McMillan, for my money, I got to see the 7-on-7 circuit. He might be one of the best wide receivers in the country coming in.
we think so
Rome,
too.
Sawyer. I mean, this is as talented a group of freshmen we've ever had coming in here to the University of Washington. And how can we get those guys acclimated faster and get them an opportunity to compete and see some time on the field?
First off, I think when you're recruiting guys like that, it's not just me. I think it takes everybody. It takes us collectively as a staff to be recruiting those guys. It takes the Husky fan base on social media to that good energy. I mean, seriously,
I
though, I'm
know.
telling you,
It's changed.
those Husky fans on Twitter, man, are crazy. And honestly, those, man, these kids love that stuff, man. It does, the energy. That's all they say. Oh man, them Husky fans are crazy. But to get them implemented, when we can get back here, NCAA is trying to figure out some rules as far as like the Zoom calls with these guys. If we can, some certain things pass to where we can have meetings with them on Zoom prior to them coming here, that will be a good head start. But, they're going to get the playbook just like everyone else gets the playbook. And sometimes you got to mess it up to get it right.
It's so true.
You got to mess it up to get it right. And I understand that. And we want them to play free, right? Go out.
Yeah.
If you're going to make a mistake, go out there and make it 100%.
Yeah.
And 100 miles per hour. So, they'll be fine.
It's going to be fun.
And part of the recruiting process too, though, Damon, right?
Yeah.
And as you know, is that we're, part of the recruitment process, we're asking these guys these questions. We want to figure out how these guys learn. Right? And can they pick up the playbook and learn this type of playbook?
Yeah.
And I have full confidence in these 3 freshmen that are coming in that it's going to be hard early on.
Sure.
That's just part. They'll get it.
And we saw that with Puka last year as he evolved as the season went on. And man, he unfortunately got banged up there down the stretch. But what an impact he had when he was out there.
Well, Puka he would come in though. He'd come in and get extra work.
Yeah.
He'll come in and he would come in on Mondays and drop every play that was in, every play that we had in that week. He'll draw it on the board, and then he'll get with, Dan Siegel, our GA, and Dan will put him through some stuff. You got to take pride and ownership in learning what we're doing and knowing what's going on the field, and that's exactly why, he started heating up as the season went on.
Yeah. Well, aside from Zoom meetings and I guess Husky fans involved in the recruiting process with Twitter, how has this thing changed over the last decade in your coaching career? The game's evolved, all this fun stuff, but what are the biggest changes that you've seen?
Probably if you look at offensive football, how the game has changed, early, probably about, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, just under 10 years ago, like the reign of the quarterback. You know what I mean? Like that was a big change in college football, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the spread systems and
Yeah.
all that stuff was a big change. And but I still think what Vince Lombardi was doing and what Bill Walsh was doing,
Yeah.
it's still around today, and there's a reason why it's still around today. And I think we still hang our hat here at Washington on being physical.
Mm-hmm.
That's what wins football games.
Yeah.
And that's what Vince Lombardi was about. Was about. You know what I mean? And it's so it's changed. It's evolved. Some of the schemes have changed as far as running football and throwing the football, but you still got to make plays. Playmakers make plays.
Yeah. Who's been your biggest influence over the years as far as coaching?
Oh gosh, it's funny. Someone asked me that question the other day, and I have a list. So I mean, the biggest. That's hard to say. It's hard to single out one because I've been very fortunate to be around a lot of good guys, in this profession that are good people and good coaches. Mike Kramer was good for me when I first started. Tom Moore at Prosser High School was great for me. Bo Baldwin at Eastern Washington was good for me. Brian Harsin at Boise, just like, and they all had their little deals to where I was able to pick from them, how they helped me. Mm-hmm. And then, then I went to Mike Sanford at Western Kentucky, first time head coach. It was good being in that situation with him. Mm-hmm. And obviously, the GOAT, Chris Peterson he's got to be a Hall of Fame head coach. And
for sure.
And I've been around some guys in the NFL where I've been able to internship. That was really good. George Stewart, longtime NFL coach. Eric Yarber, who was a receiver coach here at one point, was my receiver coach in college. He was with the Rams. Mm-hmm. I've been very blessed and fortunate to be around some good football coaches, but even better men,
Well, you've done a great job here in your short time at Washington, and that room is loaded with talent, and we're excited to watch them all take the next step this season. Any last words for Husky Nation out there?
No, just go Dogs. Just stay safe, stay healthy. We're all in this thing together, and keep the energy. We need you guys. We need you guys more than ever, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, Junior, for your time, buddy. Be safe, and hope to see you sooner than later.
All right, love you, brother. Take care.
Love you too. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.